So then guys, you need to forget all about the Samsung Galaxy Ring, and it's the Apple Ring is the ring that you want to focus on with all of its features that we're going to talk about today and why it's probably going to be better than the Galaxy Ring equivalent. What's coming out in a matter of days or weeks depending on when you're watching this video. So we've just seen the announcement of this new ring, and obviously we get it in 3 new colours. We've got the black, the silver and the gold for your preference, and there's also a sizing kit as well to choose the right size ring for your finger, what you want to use it on. There's no other kind of extra features inside of it, and don't get me wrong, the sensors inside of this ring are very good. On your Galaxy phone you'll be able to do things like tracking your sleep, for example, and you can also track your pulse, your heart rate, and also, as Samsung said, using a bit of AI you can actually turn your insights into actions too. The ring, or for example, let's say you wanted to snooze an alarm. The ring also has abilities like Samsung's Find Me equivalent out there, so you can find the person or you can find your ring if you were to lose it. And to be honest, the case looks pretty awesome too, what you actually charge this ring in, where you actually got like a charging ring around to see how much you're actually charging up your ring. Samsung claim it you can get up to a 7-day battery life, and that is depending on what size finger you are, depends on the size of the battery that you will actually get. So if you've actually got quite a large hand and quite sort of thick fingers, then I'd say the main thing is that it can last up to 7 days of batteries from Samsung, and from say Apple can only last only a couple of days. To get up to a week, that is really good, but we're gonna have to check that out. The other thing as well, I like it that it's fully waterproof and that you can just slip it on, forget all about it, and then all your health is being monitored. There are a lot of features that we were expecting to get with it, and to be honest, at $400 we were expecting maybe a little bit more with features, or maybe this is where the likes of say Apple needs to come along with their Apple Ring and give you a really great, that the Apple Ring will actually give us a lot of different benefits to compared to say wearing a watch all the time. And one of the benefits I could point out right away is that, for example, I like to wear some of those classic kind of watch designs instead of wearing say an Apple Watch all the time, and then also still have my health being tracked. Samsung are doing this right now, even though they have promoted that you can actually wear your Samsung Galaxy Fit watch and you can actually wear your ring at the same time and actually get the same sort of recordings, and in fact both the devices can work together too. But much like Samsung here, I believe that Apple can make a device that sits between say an iPhone and an Apple Watch, and Apple have done this many times in the past. So for example, I've talked about this, that Steve Jobs, for example, with the iPhone and the MacBook, he believed there was a product that could sit in the middle, and that was the iPad. And just like what Samsung have just done now, they think the same. But some of the benefits that we'll get out of having a ring compared to say a watch, like we already spoke about before, and that is definitely to do with battery life. It would be great to think that you'd be able to charge up your ring inside of its case for say maybe an hour or two, and then it's ready to go up to say 7 days, very similar to what Samsung provide right now and other competitors like Rincon do, Aurora, and also like Apple probably do, and that is that the actual case can actually hold a good battery inside of it, so you might be able to get say 2 months supply of battery inside of say that case. And for me, what I could see with having a longer battery life in the actual ring, do this instead, tracking our sleep would be really a fantastic thing to have, that we can actually see all of those sorts of tracking and how we're sleeping, ready for the next day. And very similar to like Samsung, I think that Apple would bring out with their Apple Intelligence some sort of abilities and skills there to actually help us getting a better night's sleep. I would also say is that there's the possibility that we may actually also get a sensor on top of the ring. So for example, we might be, the other thing I'd also say that could probably happen is that maybe NFC would be added to this watch as well. So for example, you might be able to pre-select a card on your iPhone, and then with that swipe on your ring gesture that I talked about earlier, you could activate NFC to pay or say a phone call, because this is something that's missing with the Galaxy Ring, that you don't get any kind of feedback back through the ring. So this would be really cool that Apple could actually put this into their ring when they bring their one out. One other area where the ring could actually help is say with the Vision Pro, for example. One problem that the Vision Pro is using it in a dark space, and to navigate around it's always looking around for your hands, but with say a ring it could actually detect the ring, and then with a sensor inside it be even more accurate with what you're actually picking with your fingers. But then next of all then, what you're probably wanting to know is, well, what now put their cards down on the table with their ring, how about Apple? Well, I think the pressure will be on Apple if these rings sell really well. sell now. And I think one of the things that Samsung have done very clever, what they haven't done, and because of that, I think obviously Apple will be monitoring this, bringing out their own ring. I expect that it probably might be coming out in 2025, the end of it, or even into 2026, once they know in what the Galaxy Ring does for Samsung Ring. But then for price-wise, like the Galaxy Ring comes in at $399 probably most likely Apple will probably replicate a very similar sort of cost. At the end of the day, the likes of say the Galaxy S24 Ultra, so especially the likes of say their watches, there's no subscription or anything like that with them. So yeah, probably it's going to be the same situation out there, that you will have to actually pay for no subscription, you buy the Apple Ring and then off you go.